Kannoubine Valley is a world apart and one of the most amazing places in Lebanon and the world. The beauty and the holiness of this place are incomparable to any place we had ever visited before. Our first stop was Dar es-Salib. Dar es-Salib is a monastery or a church located inside a large cave in the valley of Hulet, part of the Kannoubine Valley, under the village of Hadchit. The cave is about 15 meters high and 16 meters deep. The first settlement on the site dates back to the 6th or the 7th century. The main part of the monastery and the church date back between the 11th century and the 12th century. The church and its surrounding buildings were still in use until at least the 17th century. This monastery conserves the ruins of a double-nave church, a cistern carved into the rock, and the remain of hermitages in 4 small caves. Access to those hermitages was possible with ropes and wooden ladders. The monastery consists in 2 terraces and a particularly covered lower one, while the upper one is completely covered with the ceiling of the cave. Wall paintings representing figures of saints cover the surface of the 2 apses, while a crucifixion, a unique representation, adorns the pillar located between the 2 arches which separate the 2 chapels. Their Kannoubine served as a fortress palace for the Maronite patriarchs from the 15th to the 19th centuries. The monastery's church, half built into the rock, is decorated with frescoes from the 18th, 19th centuries. The eastern apse has a dicis, a representation of Christ between the Virgin Mary and Saint John the Baptist, with Saint Stephanos taking the place of Saint John the Baptist. Another small apse shows Saint Joseph holding the child in one hand and a saw in the other. In a second apse is the figure of the prophet Daniel in the lion's den. On the northern wall, a fresco represents the coronation of the Virgin by the Trinity, with 9-meter capped Maronite patriarchs looking on. At the entrance of this church is a cave where a naturally preserved body can be seen, mistakenly believed by the local population to be that of Patriarch Yusuf Dayan. Not far from here is the chapel of Mar Marina, famous saint of the valley, where 18 Maronite patriarchs are buried. Interestingly, the Patriarch Dayan is listed among those buried here. The monastery can be reached by foot from Lauza or Dimen, a walk of several hours that gives an idea of what the journey was like for early pilgrims and patriarchs. A shorter way is by the path that begins at the bottom of the valley. When you reach Adisha electricity power station at the bottom of the valley, you should take a bus to reach Abu Joseph restaurant, and then you should hike for another 15 minutes to reach Kannoubine monastery.